Assalamu alaikum everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma, and today we're going to be doing a Revert Q&A. So a little bit ago I had put in the community tab that you could ask me there or on my Instagram questions about being a revert. Any questions you had at all. So I got some good questions and I picked out a couple of my favorites. So here we go. The first question is, what were your honest thoughts about Islam before you became a practicing Muslim? So I think a lot of people are going to think that I had negative thoughts about Islam or Muslims, but honestly, I didn't really have any negative feelings. I mean, yeah, the media was constantly spewing rhetoric about how Muslims were terrible people and Islam is dangerous and all of that. And even some of my extended family were pretty negative and cruel towards Muslim people, saying they needed to all get out, they were unsafe, they were evil. But luckily my immediate family, my mother, she was really positive and taught me love and compassion and made sure I knew that these messages weren't true. The first Muslim I ever met was in college when I was 19, and it was a really positive experience. She was a great person and probably still is, and I really liked her, and it just gave me a very positive view on Islam, which really goes to show that if you are the positive, great example, people will associate you with Islam and then associate those feelings that they felt about you with the religion. I really grew to love Islam after I married my husband and I learned more about it. That's when I really fell in love with it and really wanted to revert. The next question is, how do you boost your Iman? Now, this is a really good question because I think a lot of reverts can have times when their Iman is really low. But actually, I think any Muslim, whether you're born or reverted, I think that everybody has times when their Iman is low. When I first started out, my Iman was so high and so incredible, but of course I go through highs and lows. So when I'm feeling particularly low, I will make sure that I return to prayer if I've abandoned prayer and really make dua more often. Ask Allah to guide me towards the right path, to guide me in the direction that will help me best. Reading Quran is also very helpful in boosting Iman, reading your favorite stories, reading your favorite verses, all of that. And Islamic lectures as well are great to listen to when your Iman is low, especially if you pick ones that are specifically about Iman. Also, sometimes it just helps to watch Muslim YouTubers, whether it's dawah content or just them living their regular lives, doing vlogs. Just seeing these positive representations of these people can really make you feel good about your religion and really make you feel like, oh, they're living a great life, so can I. Hijab is also something that really helps me. I always make sure to wear it when I'm outside the house or in situations where hijab is required. And that really helps me because it gives me this connection to Allah. It really makes me feel close to Allah when there are times when I'm feeling low. The next and last question, I know you're probably pretty surprised that I've only done 3, but this one's quite long. The answer to this one is very long, so I'm not really sure how much time it's going to take up, but here we go. The question is, what are your favorite Quranic stories? Name any 4. I almost feel like this is a trick question. Like the person is like, do you know your Quranic stories? I do. And so let's go ahead and go through them. These are in no particular order, by the way. They're just some of my favorites that immediately spring to mind. The first story is definitely the birth of Isa, and that one's really my favorite. I mean, Okay, hold on. I know that it's part of the story of Maryam, but specifically the birth story of Isa is one of my all-time favorites because it really shows you that while you need to trust in Allah and trust in His plan, you also have to put the effort in yourself. For instance, what I mean by that is Maryam was feeling weak and tired and like she couldn't go on, and Allah said, shake the palm tree, strike the ground, dates will fall and water will spring up. And she was so weak, like how could she possibly do that? But she put in the effort and she did these things, and she was rewarded with gifts from Allah. So it really shows you that while you need to trust in Allah, you also need to tie your camel. You need to put in that effort to make sure that things go according to Allah's plan. The next story I want to bring up is the story of Eunice. I really like this one because it's all about being steadfast in times of adversity. Life has gotten tough for me. I'm not gonna lie. I've had a lot of hardships thrown my way, and this story really makes me think about how even when times are tough, it's time to trust in Allah. Eunice was meant to preach to the people of a town called Nineveh. Nineveh was a very wicked city, and he was meant to, of course, preach the message of Allah. However, they completely rejected him, and against Allah's wishes, Eunice left the city. He boarded a ship and just left. Well, there was a great storm, and the ship began to sink. After drawing straws, Eunice was forced to leave the ship, jump into the water and leave the ship. Allah sent a whale to swallow him whole. It just seemed like hardship after hardship after hardship was happening to him. But instead of just giving up or saying, wow, my life sucks, I'm just going to die in this whale, Eunice prayed to Allah. He trusted in Allah. And when he sought help from Allah, the whale spat him out onto the shore. So that really goes to show you that even in times of adversity, just turn to Allah and you will get the help that you need. The next story is the story of Ibrahim. The people of his town completely rejected his message, and instead they continued to pray to their idols. There was actually a festival that celebrated their idols, and Ibrahim decided he was going to go ahead and destroy all the idols. So he did. He destroyed all of the idols except for the largest. Now, as you can imagine, the king and the people were pretty mad about the whole situation. So his punishment was to be burned alive. So they got him all situated, got him ready to burn him alive, set the fire. But Ibrahim made dua. He made dua to Allah and asked for help. And suddenly the fire lost its heat and he was able to walk out of it unscathed. I like this story because it really shows, again, trust in Allah and things will go well for you. Just trust in His plan. It may not go the way you think it's going to go, but if you trust in it, it'll go well. That message actually brings me to the last story. That's one of my favorites, and that's the story of Yusuf. Yusuf had a wonderful father, but his brothers were extremely jealous of him. Extremely jealous. It was crazy. So what they did is they threw him in a well, and they went back to their father and said, the wolves killed him. So Yusuf was stuck in this well. He was eventually found and became a slave. So things are pretty rough for our friend Yusuf. However, he was patient and relied on Allah. He kept going through these times of hardship. He kept moving forward and trusted in Allah, and eventually things went well and he rose from the ashes. The thing to remember from this is that patience and relying on Allah it's the way to go. It'll lead you down the right path. I think you guys might be able to see a trend in the stories that are my favorites, the stories about when things get rough, trust in Allah. And that's because things have really gotten rough for me in many ways. And knowing that I can just trust in Allah and things will eventually work out. Maybe not in the way I think they're going to work out, but they will work out. You know, it fills me with hope. It boosts my Iman, and they're just my favorites. So those are the questions that I received. If you have any questions that you would like to ask me, maybe I can make a part 2. So you can put any questions you have in the comments below. Send it to my Instagram, which is right here, and go ahead and ask those questions, and maybe I'll make a part 2. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching. Give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, and go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. If you've got any questions, comments, or snide remarks, put them down in the comment section below. All right, have a great day. Bye.